Hi guys, my name is Samantha and welcome to the second chapter of Photoshop for Beginners. If you haven't watched the first chapter, I recommend you watch it before this one. As always, you can find the links of all of the chapters in the video description.
Okay, so the lesson for today is understanding how the layers work. So let's open the Photoshop document we have saved from the last chapter, and now let's draw a red circle next to our square. So go ahead and select the Circle Selection tool, and draw a circle next to the square. Remember to hold the Shift key to get a perfect circle, something like this. It doesn't have to be identical, don't worry. Now go to the Paint Bucket tool, and from here change the color to red. Click in your circle and here it is. Now go back to the Selection tool and click on the circle again to unselect it. We are working on a single layer and this will cause problems, but I want you to see why so that you won't make the same mistake again. Go ahead and select the Move tool and try to move the circle closer to the square. What happens here is that you can't move a single element if you work with all the elements in the same layer. Hold the Control key in your keyboard and hit the Z key to undo the last thing you did. If you need to undo more than one step, go to Edit and choose Step Backwards. You can do this anytime if you make a mistake and want to undo it, and you can do it as many times as you need. Okay, now let's create a new layer. Go to the Layers tab and click on this little icon next to the trash. Now the layer has been created. Make sure the new layer is selected like this in blue, and go to this tool. Hold or right-click to see more tools and select the Polygon tool. Now go to Canvas and draw a polygon. Now select the Paint Bucket tool and pick a green color. Go to your polygon and click on it to paint it green. We'll be talking about types of layers later, but for now, just click OK. Okay, now go to the Move tool and move the polygon. As you can see now, you can move an individual element because it is in a different layer. Let's watch this little movie and you will understand much better how layers work. If this is a Photoshop document, the layers will be represented on the bottom right of the screen. Each one of these layers represents a piece of paper. In Photoshop, the paper at the front always represents the layer on the top. In this case, it is called layer 1. The paper in the middle represents the next layer, which is the layer 2, and the paper at the back represents the layer 3. The layer 1 is a picture with mountains and a blue sky on the background, but doesn't have clouds or sun or any other thing. So we figured we'd draw some clouds on the second layer. Now we have the clouds and the sun with transparent background on the layer number 2. And to finish, we want to add some birds as well. So we draw the birds on a transparent background on layer number 3. Now we have all the elements we need to create our own montage. But if we keep the layers in the order they are now, we won't see the clouds or the birds, as the blue sky in the front layer will cover everything. All we need to do is change the order of the layers by dragging them to the position we want. And now we've got a nice montage created from different elements working with layers. But what happens if we now want to move our square and circle? We go and click on them to move them, but they don't move, but only the polygon keeps moving. That's because we have selected the layer where the polygon is. To move the square and circle, we have to go and select their layer from here. And now we can move the items in the layer we have selected. That was the lesson for today. Now save your document. If you want to save your document in the same directory as it already is, just hold Control and hit S, and your document will automatically be saved. If you want to save it in a different directory, then hold Shift plus Control and hit S and choose where you want to save it. And if you want to save it with a different name so that you won't lose the document from the first chapter, just change the name, for example, to Photoshop for Beginners 2 and hit Save. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next chapter.